Tried to grab the phone, but David just kept reading louder. Customer stopping to stare as he listed the $7,000 for their daughter's braces, the $4,000 for their son's summer camp, the $12,000 when Derek got laid off and didn't tell Sarah for 3 months. Security came over and Derek drove off, but not before screaming that David was dead to them. About 3 weeks after that family dinner, David's Facebook disappeared, then his Instagram, then his LinkedIn. His phone number went straight to a message saying the number was no longer in service. The only way to reach him was through his work email, and he only responded to actual work-related messages. Mom tried calling his office, but the receptionist said he requested not to receive personal calls. That same week, Liam somehow got the address of David's storage unit from the guy who'd helped David move years ago. He showed up with bolt cutters at 2 in the morning, cut the lock, and started tearing through boxes looking for hidden cash or valuable stuff David must be hoarding. Instead, he found 15 years of receipts, every money order, every Western Union transfer, every bail bond, every cashier's check, all organized by year in banker's boxes with our names on them. The receipt for Sarah alone filled 3 boxes. Liam took photos of some of them before the storage facility security showed up and called the cops. When tax season came around, Mom did what she always did, but this time added David as a dependent, claiming she provided more than half his support by giving him free housing. The IRS computer system flagged it immediately since David's W-2 showed $65,000 in income and his address didn't match Mom's. She got a letter asking for proof of support, and when she couldn't provide any because David hadn't actually lived there or taken any money from her, they started asking more questions about her previous returns. One night I couldn't sleep and decided to drive around, and I passed that old diner on Route 9 where David used to take me for milkshakes when I was little. His beat-up Honda was in the parking lot, which seemed impossible since it was supposed to be at the mechanic still. I parked and looked through the window and saw him in a back booth with a laptop, spreadsheets covering the table, a cup of coffee, and nothing else. The cook came over and they talked for a minute, and I realized David was wearing a uniform shirt I didn't recognize, some logistics company logo I'd never seen before. He'd been working a second job this whole time, probably overnight shifts, and never told anyone. Then Sarah did something that even I couldn't believe. She actually found a lawyer willing to file a lawsuit for emergency family support, claiming David had created a pattern of financial dependence and couldn't just stop without causing severe hardship. The lawyer argued that 15 years of continuous support established a legal obligation, like some kind of family alimony. They filed it in small claims court, asking for $20,000 in immediate relief and ongoing monthly support of $2,000. Mom and Liam signed affidavits supporting Sarah's claim, saying David had voluntarily assumed financial responsibility for the family. When I refused to sign one or contribute to Sarah's legal fund, they started a WhatsApp group called Family Only, and specifically didn't add me. Melissa sent me screenshots where they called me David's spy, said I was probably getting money from him secretly, that I'd chosen him over real family. Mom posted that she was disappointed in me for not supporting my sister in her time of need. About a month after that dinner, the court date arrived and David showed up with 3 boxes of documents and no lawyer. When Sarah's attorney started presenting their case about established dependence, David asked to submit evidence and handed the judge 15 years of bank statements showing $247,000 transferred to family members with zero repayment, not even a single thank you card in most cases. He had printed out every text message where family members had asked for money, every email, every voicemail transcript. Sarah's lawyer asked for a recess and never came back after lunch. The judge ruled in David's favor that afternoon and ordered Sarah to pay him back $12,000 within 90 days. That night, Melissa's husband called David from his car in a parking lot and said he felt awful about everything and wanted to wire him $5,000 right away. David thanked him, but before the money could transfer, Melissa grabbed the phone and screamed that if her husband sent even $1, she'd divorce him and take everything. The line went dead and the money never came. 3 days later, Mom called me crying because the power company had shut off her electricity and she was sitting in the dark with candles. She begged me to pay the bill but refused to admit that David had been covering it for the past 3 years, along with her cable and internet. I paid it myself, and when I checked the account history, there were 36 payments from David's checking account going back to when Dad died. 6 weeks after that family dinner, Liam got arrested again, but this time for shoplifting power tools from Home Depot to sell for drug money. He called David from county jail at 2 in the morning like he always did, expecting immediate bail money. David's phone rang and rang while Liam left voicemail after voicemail begging for help and promising to pay him back this time for real. David never answered, and Liam sat in jail for 5 days before a public defender got him released on his own recognizance. I couldn't take it anymore and drove to the storage facility where David had been living since giving up his apartment. He set up a cot between boxes and had a camping stove plugged into an outlet he was stealing power from. He showed me his laptop with a job offer from a tech company in Seattle starting in 3 weeks and his savings account with enough for the move. He said he'd been planning this for months and nobody in the family would get his new address or phone number. 2 weeks later, Mom organized what she called an intervention for David's mental health crisis and invited everyone, including extended family and neighbors, and even called David's boss at work. She set up chairs in a circle in her living room with a banner that said, "We care about you, David," and prepared speeches about his concerning behavior. David never showed up because nobody had actually told him about it, and Mom just assumed he'd somehow know to come. They all sat there for 2 hours eating the sandwiches Mom made while talking about how David had always been difficult and antisocial. About 2 months after that dinner, Sarah was going through old emails looking for something for her lawyer when she found a folder on their shared computer labeled Family Recordings. Inside were hundreds of audio files dating back 15 years of every single time a family member asked David for money, including the exact amounts and the promises to pay back and the insults when he asked for repayment. There were screenshots of text messages and bank statements and even recordings of Mom calling him selfish for asking when she'd pay back the $10,000 he'd given her for Dad's funeral. Sarah deleted everything, but David had already uploaded copies to 3 different cloud services. What made David start keeping